the Torah is no longer applicable.
You are privileged to be under the new covenant. You are not required to observe the Torah. You don't have to keep the Sabbath. You are not supposed to select your favorite parts of the Torah and observe them. The scripture clearly shows that if you are under the Torah, you must keep the whole lot of it without breaking any. There are about 618 laws. If you break any one of them, it means that you will have broken the whole Torah.
For as many as are of works of law are under a curse, for it hath been written, Cursed is everyone who is not remaining in all things that have been written in the book of the law to do them. And that in law no one is declared righteous with God is evident, because the righteous by faith shall live, and the law is not by faith, but the man who did them shall live in them. Christ did redeem us from the curse of the law, having become for us a curse. For it hath been written, Cursed is everyone who is hanging on a tree.
Galatians chapter 3 verse 10 to 13 of YLT. Even after reading such scriptures, some believers still claim that you must keep the 10 Commandments. They make it seem as if it is easy to keep the 10 Commandments. Perhaps this arises because many people think that when Jesus Christ was saying that you must keep his commands, he was referring to the 10 Commandments. Instead, he meant his proclamations, authoritative prescriptions, instructions, orders, or charges. There were of course instances in which he gave the commandments when he was addressing the religious people. For instance, he highlighted the gravity of some of the commandments in Matthew chapter 5:7. He said that if your right hand causes you to sin, you must pluck it out. If your leg causes you to sin, you must cut it off. If your eye causes you to lust, gouge it out. My friend, how many people follow the Torah to such levels? How many break the Sabbath and don't get stoned to death? How many commit adultery and don't get stoned to death? How many people are having the problem of an eye which causes them to sin but are not having it gouged out? Some believers argue that things are not like that anymore because we are not under the law, but we are under grace. I agree that we are under grace. We are not under the Torah. However, being under grace does not mean reducing the gravity of the Torah to a level we can keep or get away with when we fail to keep it. Being under grace means that the Torah is no longer applicable. I had a preacher addressing a Bible school class. He said that in the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus was teaching about how the law is supposed to be kept in the new covenant. That's totally false. If this is true, then it means that Jesus made life much harder for you. That's just human opinion. Yes, it's true that God hasn't changed. The Torah of Moshe hasn't changed as well. God didn't modify the Torah. It's still there. It's still as holy, but it's not
Applicable.
That's totally false. If this is true, then it means that Jesus made life much harder for you. That's just human opinion. Yes, it's true that God hasn't changed. The Torah of Moshe hasn't changed as well. God didn't modify the Torah. It's still there. It's still as holy, but it's no longer applicable. It served its purpose until the death of Jesus Christ.
Let me put it another way. The Jewish laws were our teacher and guide until Christ came to give us right standing with God through our faith. But now that Christ has come, we don't need those laws any longer to guide us and lead us to Him.
Galatians chapter 3 verse 24 to 25 TLB.